Hello, welcome back. Beautiful Sunday morning here, 72 degrees, sunny, no cloud. I am surprised that there are no golfer back there because this is perfect weather for golfing on a Sunday. There will be plenty. By noon, this place will be hopping back there. Anyhow, you saw the title of the video. Why is inflation so persistent? And this is one of the things that I don't hear often on mainstream media or even on YouTube. And to me, it's obvious. First of all, you do hear a lot of complaint on high gas price. So that has been discussed, mentioned all the time. Yes, but let me slide in two charts so that you can see. The first chart, here we go. You can see this is the average gas price. The first left line that you see on the left is when President Trump took office. The second red line on the right is when he left office. And you can see the price, the average price of gasoline since then. Okay, so that's the first chart. Let me slide in a second chart. This is the oil production by the US. Once again, the first red line is when President Trump took over, and then the second line is when President Trump left the office. Yes, from this chart, you can see that the oil production crashed near the end of the second red line, which is obvious because of COVID, right? The shutdown. And since then, you can see that production has steadily risen and now has surpassed the all-time high under President Trump. Yet, if you go back to the average gasoline price that we are paying today, it is higher than what we paid under President Trump. Okay, now you saw those two charts. One of the main slogan during the campaign for the past couple of months and weeks has been drill baby drill. It is a nice slogan. I vote for President Trump, but at the same time, that is really not the reason why oil price can come down. As you can see in the chart of oil production, we are pumping more oil today, more today than ever. So it's not the narrative that had been spun since 2022 when the Ukraine war started, that regulation has stifled production and exploration in this country. As much of a fan of President Trump and the Republican Party that I have been and am today, that is one narrative that I roll my eyes every time I heard the expert go on TV since 2022 to talk about the reason why oil is high because the Democrats did this and that, and we are pumping more oil today than ever. The one thing that nobody talked about is the Ukraine war. The military industrial complex love war. A lot of American people, especially celebrities that have no skin in the game, they don't have kids, they don't send their kids to the army, all right? So they're all they really love, they're pro-war. Sean Penn, he's all about more fighting, more killing, more bombs, more money, our money sent over to Ukraine, instead of like finding a way to end that war, because that war has hurt everyone with the exception of a few countries. People in Europe have been hurting for the past 2+ years because they are paying an extreme high price of energy because of the war. Extreme high price. They are suffering. Their citizens have been suffering from having to pay much higher energy price than we have. We, by we I mean the oil company, have benefited greatly because we have been pumping more and exporting it at higher prices to Europe, whether it's whether it is liquefied natural gas or oil, you name it. The oil companies are making bank. Greed. Higher gasoline has been one of the biggest culprit to keep inflation high. Why? We use gas in everything. Think about it. If goods are shipped from China in those big tanker, higher price of oil raise the shipping costs. So naturally, everything, even from China, costs more to ship to us. Higher gas, guess what? Costs more for airplane to fly. So they have to raise the price to pass it on to us. You name it, everything flow through. Higher gasoline, higher oil price have been the culprit for the persistent in high inflation that we have suffered since 2022. Yes. So the war, the Ukraine war, the embargo on Russian oil export have been a big contribution to the inflation problem that no one wants to talk about. Everybody seem like mainstream media want to prolong the war, send more money to Ukraine, more missile, more tanks, more plane, benefit the military industrial complex, as well as the energy company that's pumping and selling energy at higher profit margin than ever. So, I don't know how President Trump is going to end the war. I'm sure that is one of his key goals, but perhaps, here's my guess. First of all, the oil embargo that NATO and the US put on Russia, who do you think is buying the bulk of the oil that they are pumping right now? Who do you think are buying millions and millions and millions of barrels of oil from Russia right now? More than ever. At a great discount. They paying literally something like half the price that we are paying per barrel because of the sanction. China is buying oil hands over fist from Russia. So perhaps, not that I know President Trump's strategy to end the Ukraine war, perhaps pressuring China with tariff or whatever it is that he can do to stop them from buying oil from Russia would bring Russia to the table. Russia has already want to go to the table. Okay, let's make it very clear. Russia want to negotiate. It is NATO that doesn't want to do it. at least not at the term that NATO want to accept or Ukraine want to accept, but perhaps pressuring China into buying less oil from Russia will squeeze the Russia to give in more in some demands to come to peace and end the war, and that will lower the energy price and that will lower inflation. That's my take. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. Just when I about to end the video, guess what? The golfer is out. There you go. I knew they would be coming. It's too nice. Too nice. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.